today I teach you this beautiful hairstyle. So I call this the modern Hollywood waves. So this is a very versatile hairstyle. You can definitely use this not only for South Asian brides, but honestly for any of your brides.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be working from layer by layer. So what I do is I work from the bottom and then work my way to the top. So when I section my layers, I only section however big my curling iron is. And my curling iron is a 1.25. So you want those layers to not be thicker than 1.25, an inch and a quarter. So we'll take this much, okay? And I'm just using my fingers or my fingernails to section this, but you can also use your rat tail comb, the metal part, okay? And then whatever you're not working on, you just want to put this in a nice loose bun and pin it. So for the first layer, what I'm going to do is take a texture powder. This is Osis. And then we're going to spray this to the root, like so. And we're going to start backcombing this. So when I'm backcombing, I like to take the section and then pull it towards me. So I'm over directing towards me to have this angle. So when I back home, it stands up like that. Versus if you back home like this, you're not gonna get that much volume. Okay, so take your section, pull it, make sure there's not a lot of slack here too, and then start pushing the hair. And you wanna make sure that the hair is all concentrated at the root. So you see this versus that. Okay, so we'll take this, same thing, over direct, and then push back. And when I'm pushing, I want to make sure that everything is at the root. So you don't want backcombing all the way down here. So make sure you're pushing it. And if you find yourself not being able to push it, all you have to do is pick up your brush and start from here and then push it back. So now you have everything there. I'm going to take my hairspray and just spray all over here where we did the backcombing to kind of set that in place. Okay, so today we're going to be using extensions too, hair extensions on Srisha. The extensions that we have, they're human hair, obviously, so you can curl them. These are 24 inches, but you can go longer for the extensions, okay? So I have this, and I have also a halo that I'm going to use, and all of these I just pre-curled just to save time. But I have these wefts, and I have the halo as well. And that will just make the style thicker and it will help the curls last longer. So that's why I love to use extensions. I also asked all my clients that want Hollywood waves to get extensions for themselves. So with the extensions and the backcombing, you want to make sure that the clips, so I'm just going to unclip this. You want to make sure that the clips are sitting on that backcombing that you did. And so that way too, it's secure and it doesn't slip. Okay, so you want to make sure that also this is all neat. And when you clip it, there's no hair that's just going everywhere. And that's just for the comfort of your client too. So make sure this looks neat. What I do is I section, I tease, hairspray, put the extensions, clip the extensions on, and then curl. So I curl the extensions with the natural hair. So I'm gonna put this over here. Okay. How's that feel, Srisha? Comfortable? Okay. You also want to make sure that you're asking your client if everything feels comfortable, okay? And for this style too, for the Hollywood waves, the classic Hollywood waves, usually they'll have a deep side part. So you want the hair to be curled away from, all the hair to be curled away from the hair or from their face. So if you have your side part here to the left, all your curls are going back this way, okay? And vice versa, if you have the part on this side, all your curls are going back this way. Her part is over on her left side, so we're gonna make sure that the curls go that way, so this way. Take my curling iron. You're gonna hold your curling iron horizontally. So it has to be parallel to like the plane of her head. So we'll take a section. Same thing when you're taking sections, you don't want the section to be too thick. So I'll take like a section, all this, I would probably like split into 3. So I'll do one section first. Okay, make sure this is also like nice and neat. detangled, no kinks, because if you have kinks and then you apply heat to it, you're just gonna stamp that pattern into the hair. So I'll take this, I'll spray it with a little bit of hairspray. Okay, and when you do that, you wanna make sure that the product is all diffused. So I like to kind of just like brush it through. And we're gonna start our curl. We're gonna open up our curling iron, we're gonna feed the hair, and we're gonna start twisting. Okay, so when I'm twisting, I hold the hair and twist it around my curling rod. Okay, and you wanna hold this nice and taut, so no slack when you're twisting it. And then when I'm done, I just wrap it around, leave that on there for 10 seconds. Okay, and then release. I'll try to catch it with my hands and kind of like bounce it back and forth here to let it cool down a little bit. You can also pin it up. I don't pin it up because sometimes when you pin it up, the curls go crazy. So I just like let it drop. Make sure you just bounce it off of your hand for a little bit. Okay, let's do that again. Over here, spray. I'm gonna spray this one too, just to prep it for later. So brush that out. Brush this one out too. Again, hold my curling iron parallel to her head. Okay, feed your hair and then twist. Also, when I'm twisting, look at the positioning of my thumb. My thumb is always facing forward. So you see my nail? It's always facing forward when I twist. I'll show you again over on this section. Okay, leave this on here for like 10 seconds. Release. Have your hand ready to catch your curl. Bounce it a little bit. Make sure that cools down. And then drop. You should have curls that look like this, okay? And if your curls don't look like this, that's because you're twisting it wrong. So let's do that again. Curling rod, curling iron. Open. You feed the hair. Look at my thumb and my nail. Always facing forward. So when I twist, my thumb facing forward, twist, facing forward, twist, twist, twist. And you want to twist, you want to curl all the way at the ends. So what I do is, obviously when you're holding this, I want to release that clamp to close. And then I rotate this so that when you rotate, you're gonna catch all that hair and make sure everything is curling. And then again, I have my hand over here to catch it and then release. So now you'll have curls like this. So once you have this layer done, I like to brush out layer by layer. I don't curl the whole head and then brush it out. I do it layer by layer. That just saves me time, and also I can kind of like sculpt it as I go. So I don't have to go back, recurl, and do all that step again. So what I do is I just brush this out with my comb. So you'll see automatically when you brush this out, you'll have that pattern. And that's how you know that you've done the curls correctly. Now, I'll take my texture powder and just spray this all over and tease this a little bit to give it more volume. To give it more volume, and teasing the curls together glues them together. So when I have this is just gonna be like moving like this, correct? But if we brush this out and tease it underneath, you'll see. So I'll tease this part because I know that's the bump. You only tease the bumps. Okay, that's your bump. This is a dip. You don't tease the dip. You just brush it out. And then you have another bump here. Tease out that bump. Okay, and then brush it out. This. Okay, perfect. So now you have this. Now this is gonna be our foundation. Now this doesn't have to look perfect, doesn't have to look all smoothed out. This is fine. You just want to have volume, and you want this first layer to be very sturdy, because again, this is gonna be our foundation. So what I'm doing is just brushing out the sides, because these are the sides that are gonna be visible. So just the sides, And don't worry, even if you tease this, you can still go back later and just kind of like fine tune. So this I'm happy with. I know a lot of this is teasing here is visible, but that's fine because all of this hair will just cover that. So I'll take my hairspray and I'm just gonna set this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna set this. Yeah, you have to tell your clients when you're spraying because it's cold. Okay, so just setting all of this with my setting spray. This is the Kenner 25. It's a super cold hairspray. Okay, this, and also underneath, you also want to spray that. Sorry. Perfect. See, now you have this, and this is now moving as a unit. So we'll do the same for every layer. So this we've pre-curled, and this is the halo. So I'm just adding the halo extensions to the middle of her head, and because that's where we want most of the volume. And then, so when you're doing waves like this, Hollywood waves, you want your extensions, and if you're using extensions, you want the extensions or the bulk of the hair to be like back here, and then whatever is in the front. So the rest of the extensions I'm gonna place on the sides, so to make the front more fuller. And also she has layers, so it's very important if you have layers to use the extensions to make sure that you get more of a blunt haircut. So that's what I'm doing right now, because she does have a lot of layers in the front of her hair. So yeah, this is just me doing, adding the halo in. I'm using bobby pins too to secure the halo to her head, just for more protection, for more security. Because sometimes, you know, the halos are more heavy than the clip-ins. So that's why I'm adding bobby pins right here. So yeah, just doing all of this. And I've already, like I said, I've already pre-curled this. But what you can do is when you add the extensions, you can put the extensions in, clip it in, and then curl it with your hair, like we did for the first layer. So this is your halo. I'm just adding random pins here. And also, you want to make sure that the bride is still comfortable. Are you comfortable, Srisha? Everything feels good? Yes. Okay. And no pins are sticking? No. Okay, good. So this is part of the halo. that I've pre-curled, I'm just gonna pin this back up here because we want to make sure everything underneath is also curled. So these ones, we're gonna curl, same thing, with the twisting. And here I am doing it like in full speed. So when I'm not explaining, that's how fast you should be doing your corkscrew curls. Okay, so let me do this again, and then have your hand ready over here. Bounce, bounce. Perfect. Okay, let's do it again over here. I'll show you in real time when I'm not slowing down. So when I feed it, I feed, twist, twist, twist. So there you go. So one section should take you what, about like 30 seconds to do, because you know you have a lot of hair to curl, so make sure you're not like spending too much and thinking too much of the curls. Perfect. Now we take this down. Awesome. And I'm gonna take part of this and push it over to the front, because I'm going to be using that for the front section. And then all of this, I will start brushing out. So remember, same thing, texture powder everywhere. Okay. And now, obviously, since that first layer we've already done, you don't want to touch that anymore, okay? So I'll just take this new hair that we just put in, and this is the only ones I will be brushing out. So brush this hair out, and then tease underneath, tease here, that, perfect. This also does not have to be perfect because we still have all of these layers up here. I'm just going over everything here on the sides. It's like I said, the sides are visible. So you want these sides to be nice and smooth, but everything on top here you don't have to worry about because it's just gonna be covered. So I just want these sides to be nice and smooth, and then obviously here too, because we did a lot of backcombing, so you want to make sure that it doesn't look ratty on the sides. Okay. So I have one more layer before her crown. And the crown part, we are going to curl differently. So this is one more layer. You see how much shorter the top of her hair is? So that's why I like adding extensions. Because when you have curls like this that are clumped together, when you have layers, it doesn't look as voluminous as you want it to be. So same thing. I'm gonna add more hair to this side. I'm gonna add maybe 2 wefts. I think I have 2 wefts left. So I'm just gonna add those wefts over here so that the front of her hair, the front panel looks good and thick. With hair, it's better to start big and kind of like tame it down a little bit. It's easier to do it that way than not having enough volume and trying to add volume at the end. So I suggest when you're doing like big hairstyles, volume hairstyles, make it big and then try to like just brush it out at the end if it's too much volume for your clients. Okay, so I'm just kind of lightly just brushing this out. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, just lightly. I'm gonna add these wefts that are not curled yet. I'll add them in and then curl it with her hair. And then add the pre-curled extensions on top. So that's another way, one way too, of how you can save time. I do this all the time. If I have clients in the morning, if I have multiple weddings in the morning, I would pre-curl some of their extensions. So my clients get their extensions from me, and that's another upsell that I do, is I add extensions to my package. Okay, so this is her hair with the extensions. I'm just gonna curl everything in, obviously with her hair and the extensions. Okay, spray a little bit. Okay, we're doing the same curls over here. So the twisting technique. We're gonna leave this on here again for a little bit. Make sure every strand is heated all the way through. That's what you wanna make sure of. Every strand is heated all the way through. What I try to do too is do the touch test. When it's warm to the touch, then I know it's ready. Bounce, bounce, and then release. We'll do the same here. I've already sprayed this with hairspray. I'm just gonna lightly comb through it with my fingers, just so we don't have clumps of product in one area. Okay, do the same thing. Twist. 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 Okay. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Just hold it already. And then release. Now do this. Okay, now these top layers, you have to be very careful too of the kinks. You want to make sure before you even feed it to your curling iron that everything is nice and smooth, okay? Twist. Okay, and then when I twist again, I close the clamp. I'll take this and just brush it up and combine them with the rest of the hair. And then again, just teasing the bumps, not the dips, just the bumps. I'm also using my hairspray to kind of tame everything, all the flyaways. Just make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Now we're gonna work on her crown part, the crown area, okay? So I just took a slice, a horizontal section of the crown right here. Okay, I'm gonna put everything away. So the crown area, I'm gonna tease it up like this. Okay, so you want your over direction to be all the way up, all the way vertical. And the same thing, we're just gonna put texture powder down here. And when we tease this, okay, same concept, you want to make sure everything is at the roots, but for the crown area, you want to add a little bit more tease, because you see now how this is standing up right here. You want to add volume here too, otherwise it's going to look like a comb. You want to make sure that this is all the way rounded, okay? When you tease, you want to add a little bit more tease to that part. So it goes down, you'll have volume up here. So you're gonna do that. And then for the crown area, you want everything now here to be smooth. So when I'm smoothing out, I just use a little bit of spray. Okay, I want to make sure that the top, try to resist my movements to it. So when I pull back, so go over your head. Okay. So this top area, I want to make sure that that's smooth because obviously this is now going to be visible from everywhere. So make sure that you have this top part smooth. Okay, make sure you don't have kinks either, because like I said, when we feed it to your thing, you want everything to be smooth. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then just to help me set this, set that top area with your hairspray so it doesn't move while you're curling. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna curl this top area. I mean, I'm gonna split it into two. Okay. Curl. And when you're curling the crown, you don't want to start all the way up here because you don't want curls to start from here. You want the curls to start where the curls are starting at the bottom layers. Okay. So we get one, and then we'll do this. So just brush this out and combine it with everything in the back. Do a nice good spray of hairspray. Okay, and that's the back. Now we're gonna move on to the front. I'm gonna start on the front. I'm just gonna clean up her part here. Okay. So like I said, this is gonna have a deep side part. I like to kind of curve my part. It's nothing technical, it's just for aesthetics. That's just my style. Okay, and now this side, I'm gonna add a lot of back combing here too, because I don't want this side to be flat. Okay, and we'll do that. And remember, this side is not brushed out yet. Only this side is. And then don't have to touch your head whenever you. There you go. And now this, I'm just going to brush out and combine with everything else. Now here, you can tuck this back, tuck it behind the ear, but I like it this way, where it's kind of just open, and it opens up her ear so you can see her beautiful jewelry. So I like to do this. Okay. So yeah, make sure you spend the same amount of energy and time in the front as you would in the back, because they do get photographed from the front as well. More so, actually, from the back. So you want to make sure you're giving the front justice as well. Okay, so once you're happy with that, you can set it with your spray. So I'm good with this. And now for this part, instead of doing the same curl like we did, we're gonna curl this a different way. So I'm just gonna put this aside and start brushing this out. And we're doing the same thing with our texture powder. Actually, you wanna brush this out first. Okay, you wanna brush this out before applying texture powder. Because if you apply texture powder and then brush it out, sometimes it gets really saggy and so hard to manage. So you wanna just apply this generously all over. Okay, I'm gonna split this into two because it's such a thick layer, and start backcombing. So it doesn't have to have a rhyme and reason. You have to backcomb this part a lot. So see, this is looking crazy, but then when you take your spray, Rachel, you look like a Miss Universe. Like
I swear to God, she does.
Okay, so we just brush out the top layers because you don't want to, again, disturb that backcombing, the beautiful backcombing that you just did to fluff this out. So you just want to like literally super, super lightly use the back of your rat tail too. So I'm using just this top layers. So we're gonna brush it out. And then I like to work now, when I'm brushing out, I like to work from the top and then work my way down. So I make sure that the top layer is good. I spray it. Close your eyes. Perfect. And then work my way down. Okay. Now this, you really want to make sure everything looks nice and smooth because obviously this is all now going to be visible. Okay, perfect. And you want to fan this out so it looks nice and big. And again, obviously, the extensions help as well. Look at this. Oh, sorry. Close your eyes. Close your mouth. Perfect. You see that? Good. Make sure you don't forget underneath. Perfect. And now we are going to, curl this piece. Now this piece, you're curling, you're not gonna be twisting. This piece, when you curl, you're just gonna do a normal curl. So, hair in the barrel, and then wrap around just a ribbon curl all the way at the ends. Make sure you curl the ends too. Okay, here. Wrap curl and curl all the way at the ends. Okay. Just lightly. You don't have to like really curl it. Because this is gonna be more of like the sculpting. Now you have this. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna tease the hell out of this. Texture powder all around. Perfect. I'm gonna tease the front section first. Make sure you're over directing up and you're teasing this while they're close together, okay? You wanna glue this piece together. And when you're done, it should stand up like that. Okay, one more. Okay, now you wanna take this whole thing. You wanna make sure this front is smooth. The front is always gonna be visible. You wanna make sure that's smooth. Okay, and this side too. The side where her part is, make sure that's smooth. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna brush this out, and this is where I'm gonna start sculpting her front piece. So I put my fingers here in the front, okay, while I brush this out for support, so this doesn't fall. Close yours. Okay, and then while that's setting, I'm working on the back. So you want to make sure all of this is smooth. Okay, and then when this is good, again, you want to put your fingers, 4 fingers in the front. Just make sure it's nice and supported while you are brushing out. And then spray. Now, here I'm just sculpting. Wow, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.